Hello, hello, and what is good, y'all? I am so happy to be here. I am your host, Joshua Harrell, and welcome to Travel Marketeering Live. Some of you are watching me live, some of you are watching the replay, and I think pretty soon some of you might be listening to the podcast. I'm just saying, a little bug got in my ear that we might be going audio with travel marketeering. So can't wait for that. Anyway, welcome here. As a reminder, travel marketeering is all about the systems that travel entrepreneurs create to market, sell, and deliver their travel products and services. And I just happen to get to be your guide on this journey. I like to call myself the Chief Travel Marketeer. I'm going to use that title until it is bestowed upon someone else. So if you are in the chat, and I see you are, no matter where you're watching this around the world, please tell us, say hey, say where you're watching from or where you're listening from. Uh, and not only what city and state, but what country, because we are worldwide, and that is an exciting thing. So anyway, if you've been a part of the journey for a little bit, or maybe you're just getting started, we for 2026, we are really going through the Thriving Travel Advisor Blueprint that me and my team created as a part of travel marketeering. I'm going to give you a quick glimpse at it. And these are steps that we believe the success leaves clues, and we are professional clue picker uppers and sharers. So we're taking all the things that we have learned through hosting thousands of independent travel agency owners and advisors across the United States. We've distilled it down into the blueprint. And for 2026, we're breaking down all the steps. We're getting into the nitty, the gritty. Last show we talked about your Marquee Travel Win, the travel experience that you want to put your name and lights for. So we're going to be drilling down into that a little further, and we're even going to work on something today called the niche clarity map. So one thing that you have to do if you are a part of this community or you're just joining, you just have to be here you don't block the blessings because they're not just coming out of my mouth. If you are in the chat wherever you're watching this from, fellow travel marketeers are chiming in and sharing their tips, trips, tricks, and techniques, no matter where they are in their journey, whether they're just getting started or they've been doing this for a while. This is truly a community. And if you want to be a part of the community, then where's my button for that? Where's my button for the community? Join us over in our private Facebook group. Just search in Facebook for Travel Marketeers, not Travel Marketeering, because that's our Facebook page and all that stuff. But the private group is where you get access to the good stuff, including the downloadable that I am going to be sharing today. This is or I've already shared it. It's in the Facebook group right now. This is the niche clarity map. This is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be taking you step by step through this. It's just, you know what? Humor me. We spend a lot of time putting these things together, so you've got things to fill out and really bring the ideas to life. Because at the end of the day, if all of our travel marketeers out there are crushing it with their travel marketeering, then all of us get to benefit, right? There is plenty of business for all of us. And what most of us are terrible at is getting the word out about our business, about what we do, and find the customers that they could only be our customers. I mean, yes, they could work with other people, but I'm just saying, you know what? When someone resonates with somebody else, magic happens, and that's where the magic in travel marketeering is. Now, just a quick shout out. I have to say this. We just activated our travel marketeering Instagram and TikTok pages. I'm excited about it, not just because you get to hear me talking in little clips, but I'm just excited that there's a place to hang out. And of course, you can watch all of the replays of past episodes over the last couple of years on the World Via Travel Network YouTube. So don't you're not missing out on anything. If you can't join us live, there are ways to connect and be a part of the group. So I'm gonna pop over to the chat just real quick. Oh, and by the way, if you are new, something that we like to do here is uh we if there is something that you feel is right on it, that is the way, you are so excited about that, or it's something that you do yourself, what we like to do is we like to do a big TM, and that just stands for travel marketeering. And occasionally, if I remember, you get a British,
Yeah, girl.
she's been around for a while. Those of you know. Occasionally, when I remember, we holler out a "yeah, girl." All right, I'm gonna pop over to the chat to see what's going on over there. Oh, I see all of you. Goodness, lots of people. Good morning, TM. Good morning. It's been a while since I've caught one live. We are glad that you are here live. Jenny, a TM right back at you. Matilda, happy TM. Love seeing you here. Good morning. Good morning. Ada is joining us from Palm Springs. Good to see you. Let's see. I'm watching from, and I can't tell who L Thames, Thames, I can't tell, who you are. I'm glad that you're here, but, you're watching from New Braunfels, Texas. Good to see you. Matilda is giving us, Mishawaka, Indiana. Oh, you guys are gonna do it to me with the names of these places. Mel B is joining us. Good morning, Scottsdale, Arizona. Good to see you. Jenny, Carrier Mills, Illinois, way down south. Let's see, Teresa, good morning. This is my first, oops, I didn't click on it. This is my first live chat I am coming to. New to the business and looking forward to starting my business of the best of my abilities with all the help I can get. And from Illinois, Teresa, welcome. You are in a great place, okay? Because I mean, I can already see people who are joining us live. Um, some of these guys have been with me the entire journey. They have been helping craft some of the content that I am sharing today, success does leave clues, and we are going to share it with you. And Teresa, just remember, everybody has their own definition of success, and we are here for you. We're here to support you in that. Kathy, good morning. TM from Owasso, Oklahoma, in the U.S. Thank you. You're giving us some international flair there. Catherine, TM from Ohio. Good to see you, Kathy. I always call her Kathy. I saw you, Catherine. Reshma is coming from Texas. Oh, and World Via Erica, our director of member development and engagement, is here. TM friends, normally she's the one that's doing all the teaching, but she comes and joins me on Saturdays sometimes. Ray is joining us. Howdy from Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Ray, I hope you are having a grand time. I'm here in Margaritaville is a beautimous experience. I have not done it yet. Let's see. Oh, and it is Lynn. All right. Lynn, good to see you. And Jennifer, hello from sunny Bonita Springs, Florida. Good to see you guys. Thank you guys for joining. It does not feel like a Saturday if I don't get to chat with my travel marketeers. And it's not a good Saturday if I can't actually use words. So that's always helpful too. Now, last time we were together, if you joined, we were talking about, what's your marquee travel win? It's a trip that you put together, and the client was great, the product was great, the experience was great, the client was happy, but not only was the client happy, you made money. Maybe it wasn't easy because maybe it was your first time doing it, but it was something that you're like, okay, this is my jam. I want more of this. I want more of this type of client. So if you were with me in the chat, or if you were with me, or if you already recognize that marquee travel win for yourself, drop in the chat what was your marquee travel win. So example, it could be like an Italy food tour, Alaska cruise group, river cruise wine fans, right? Like and it can be more specific than that, but I'm just saying, based on what we talked about, what is your marquee travel win? What do you want to put your name in lights? So let's get into why I want to talk today. We're going to talk about the niche, about niche after we talked about the marquee win. Now, some of you already know this, so bear with. But I'd say those of you who've been around the block, uh, you pick up some nuggets every once in a while. I mean, you might know some things, but I'm just saying we might pick up some things. Um, so the marquee win, that was your one standout trip. You might have had more than one, but today we're asking, what kind of business could you build if you had dozens of clients who want that kind of win? Okay, what kind of business would you build? And that is your niche. Now, I know, my friend Erica, she talks about niching all the time. The let's see, the riches are in the niches. I say niche, but you can't say the riches are in the niches. That's not right. So I kind of go back and forth there. But we're constantly talking about your defining your niche and settling into a niche. And settling in is not a great word. I mean, that's not, nobody wants to settle for anything, but no, you do need to, or you should. Oh, I caught myself. You don't need to do anything, but you should want to niche down to a specific type of traveler with a specific type of trip and a specific type of outcome that you're known for. Okay. So problems that you're going to solve today is, maybe you're in the I sell everything to everyone, and you're on the verge of confusion and burnout. Um, I kind of have a niche, but I'm not actually sure if it's profitable, or if it's just because I like it. There's a little bit of that. So, that's what we're gonna be digging into today. Now, something about the niche clarity map that you can download on the Travel Marketeering or Travel Marketeers private Facebook group is it's going to ask you about your marquee travel win. It's going to ask you about that one standout trip, the thing that you want more of, and it's going to help drill down. It's going to ask you questions, but we're going to be doing this together. We're going to be doing this live. So you might be listening to this in the car. So I want to get your brain pumping. I want you thinking about what do you want? What kind of trip do you want your name and lights for? And what kind of traveler do you want? And what kind of outcome you want to be known for. And I've got a little story here that I want to share. Um, and it's a story of an advisor and you could probably insert yourself into this. Maybe you were maybe at a different stage in your career. And you know what? There, guys, you could have chosen a niche at one point and now your niche you're going into another niche. That does happen. And for that, guys, I'm gonna say
Yeah, girl.
because that is A-okay. It's not something you don't have to create a new niche just all willy-nilly like, "Oh, I woke up on a Wednesday on the left side of the bed. Now I'm gonna change my niche." That's not what we're talking about here. But as you grow as a human being, I talk about this all the time with travel marketing. You are for many of you, if you don't run a multi-agent agency, you are the brand. And as a human being, you are evolving and growing. What you knew when you first got into the travel business to where you are today is physically you have grown, you have changed. Mentally, you have grown, you have changed. So it is okay to evolve your niche. It is okay to completely change your niche, or it is okay if you have if now you started as an agency of one, now you have multiple agents, and maybe your niche back in the beginning is one of your newer team members. Maybe that's their niche, and now you've evolved onto something else. That's okay. So evolution is okay. Revolution is the thing that I'm not a big fan of. Just changing things like overnight. No, think we want to think about it. So let me give you an example of somebody that I do know. I'm so grateful. Erica and I get to spend a lot of time with so many agency owners and advisors that get to tell us everything, right, Erica? We get to hear all the stories, and it's our job to share it, right? So this is an advisor who says I can book anything. All right, and that's how she started her business, that's how she moved forward, but then she realized her favorite trips and her best clients, or the best client feedback, I guess, were from first-time Africa safaris. Now, I can already hear you through the electronic waves of the internet saying, I'm not ready for safaris." I can hear you saying it, or some of you are like, "Yes, I do safaris all day long." But this is an advisor who she got into safaris because she was selling other things. That's great. But what she started to see a pattern, and it was from the client feedback for first time African safaris. Okay. So, from going from being I sell everything to everybody, right? She narrowed her messaging down to I help first time safari travelers plan life changing trips to East and Southern Africa. All right. So that's very specific, all right? So I'm gonna read it to you again. I help first-time safari travelers plan life-changing trips to East and Southern Africa. Now, you might be saying, "Joshua, that does not sound like a marketing tagline." No, it doesn't, right? We could, zhuzh that up a little bit in various ways, shapes, or form, but we that's the that's that this is this is what she drilled down to her niche being. So the result of this is she got fewer random inquiries. Notice I said fewer, not she stopped getting random inquiries because that still is going to happen. She got more serious Safari leads because she's very clear on what she does. And let's face it, Safari's higher higher average ticket, higher commission per booking. So this was a very profitable decision for her. Now, she didn't say, "I'm gonna do safaris because it's so profitable." It actually excuse me, it actually originated in what she was good at, what she liked doing, what the feedback, her client feedback was that supported her in this decision, right? So you don't if you're just getting started and you have no clue about safaris, don't just go reach for safaris because I'm telling you that the commissions are great on safaris. If that's not your jam right now, that's okay. I'm just trying to help you walk through somebody else's journey that might help you identify where you should be in your journey. So I a little poll, and I might not give it to the results, but just for those of you who are in the chat and are trying to see where everybody is right now. Right now, would you say you are more one? You put a one. I sell everything. If your answer is I sell everything right now, if that is your main story, put a one. Two, if I have a fuzzy niche, okay, it's kind of fuzzy. A 3 if I have a niche, but I haven't fully committed to it. Okay, so there's no wrong answer here, but I'd love for you guys to see where everybody's watching live, where they're sitting. And I'm gonna hazard a guess here right now that many of you are in the space where you you have a niche but you might not be in that I'm fully committed to it. It's like I've got 1 foot in, but 1 foot out kind of space where, like, I might be able to book it if this isn't gonna be my thing, right? You're like, I feel like I've got an idea, that this might work, but I also don't want to bank on it. I'm just gonna hazard a guess, and that's based on just what I hear from so many agency owners and advisors, and that's okay. What we're gonna do today is really start to dig into what is right for you. And let me take a little sip here. You know, when you're doing a one person show here, your voice starts to go. Mm. And yes, I've switched to Diet Mountain Dew. Um, I'm gonna let you know how that goes for me. Uh, Diet Mountain Dew. This is a thing. My boss introduced me to it, and now I I think it might be a little bit of an addiction. So anyway, there you go. So your marquee travel win or your marquee win is the trip. So it's the trip. You've sold it or you want to sell it. But for many of you, I'm speaking to those of you who have already had this trip. So it's the trip. Your niche is the pattern. It is the kind of traveler it and the problem you're built to solve over and over again. Now, does that mean every single client's going to be the same? Does that mean every trip is going to be the same? No, it does not. But there's a pattern there. There's a type of traveler, there's a type of transformation or a problem that you solve that it sometimes it sounds like a superhero, and that's okay. We like superheroes, right? Sometimes it sounds like a superhero solving a problem, but it is something that you want to fix. If you can't write this out, o do it on a piece of paper, or you do it on the handout that you can get on the Facebook group. If you can't do that, I want you to push yourself, figure it out, because I think there is a trip that you do, or want to do or can do very well, and there is a kind of traveler that you are well suited towards, and there's a problem that you're built to solve over and over again. And you are not signing your name in blood, guys. This is where we're starting. This is where we're starting. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I feel like examples are good. I think you guys kind of like it. And thank you guys for voting. I see some ones and I see some threes. I don't see many twos in there. That's kind of interesting. So I that's kind of cool. All right. Let's see here. So I'm going to give you one example here. I've got is uh, the Marquee Win is a custom Italy itinerary for food obsessed friends. This is Florence, this is Tuscany with market visits, cooking class, small wineries. Okay. So that's the Marquee Win. So this is a trip that happened. So what the advisor noticed here is that these clients spent more, loved the planning process. Okay, listen to the examples I'm giving you here. Okay, so love the planning process and referred similar foodie travelers. Okay, oh, those referrals, aren't those a beautiful thing, right? Okay, so I'm giving you, these are real examples. I didn't make these up. Okay, these are real examples. I I'm trying to show you that through your just you sitting with what you've already done or the experience that you've had, the things that you've pulled together, you can start to identify these patterns. So the niche that this advisor pulled from is who. So who is this traveler? So they found a pretty wide range here. So 30 to 60-year-old food people. Okay, we're just going to label them food people who want their first or second real Italy trip. Now, listen to the specifics in that 30 to 60-year-old food people who want their first or second real Italy trip. So she's not saying, I want to, I'm doing Italy for everybody for the rest of their lives. That's not the niche, right? That's not the who that she's going after. She's going after for people who have never been to Italy, or maybe they went one other time. And if they went to Italy for work, that doesn't count. Okay, we're just going to pull that off the table. And I'm not. I just made that part up. I don't know that that's part of it. But 30 to 60-year-old, that is what that's the who. So the what in this scenario is custom Italy food and wine itineraries with local hosts. Okay, now that what is very helpful because that is where you start to get down into the product. And when we start to get down into the product, who are the partners that can help me do custom? Well, say this either custom or package that feel custom food and wine itineraries with local hosts. So I know some tour operators who give you that custom feel without having to do the custom FIT work. And they have those local hosts and they can help you with this. I'm not going to name drop right now, but I'm just saying. So in this the niche that this person pulled from a trip, a Marquee Travel Win, was 30 to 60-year-old food people who want their first or second real Italy trip, and the what is a custom Italy food and wine itinerary or itineraries with local hosts. And then the why. The why does this matter? What are they gonna get out of this? What is the thing that you're gonna solve over and over again? Okay. I'm gonna do this with a couple of examples, guys. So the why is so they can feel like insiders, not tourists, and without the stress of DIY planning. Okay. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, anybody that has put together an Italy food and wine FIT, um, this is it could have gone poorly, or it could have been very bumpy for you. But the reason why the client wants this is they want a real experience. They want that authentic experience. So this person took one trip where they crushed it, Italy itinerary with food obsessed friends, with market visits, cooking class, and small wineries. Said, okay, this is what I want my name and lights for. And then they started to drill down so they could hone in to the who, the what, and the why. Why is this so important to do this? Is not only does it help you clarify your message, and streamline your brand strategy, your marketing tactics, okay? Not only does it do that, but it also helps you cannot confuse the masses. You can't confuse the person that lands on your website. Maybe because your website has some really great blogs about Italy, wine tours, right? You can't confuse them, and then they see just theme parks all over the website, right? It helps you focus your efforts, and if you're doing any kind of paid advertising, whether that's print or that's social media advertising or even search engine, you need to know who you're trying to target, what messages resonate with them, so you can get the biggest bang for your buck. Okay, that is important because you do not have unlimited funds. You do for advertising, and you do not have unlimited time and energy to work through a bunch of random quotes, trips that span the spectrum of travel. Some things you absolutely hate doing, some things you love doing, right? You want to get to where you can be creative, you can be remarkable, memorable for a type of travel. Okay. All right. So let me give you another example. So, example number two is Alaska cruise groups. All right. And some of you, this might be your jam. So, the Marquee Win, this is the standout trip, is a small group Alaska cruise for extended family, friends, plus pre and post cruise land days. Those of you who sell Alaska, it's all about those land experiences too, right? Yep,
Yeah,
I'm
girl.
gonna go ahead. That's a preemptive yeah, girl. All right. So what the advisor noticed is these groups wanted guidance on cabin categories, excursions, and mobility issues. This becomes a really big thing, especially if you're trying to do all the stuff in Alaska, right? So so this advisor noticed, they were doing these small groups to Alaska, and this is the stuff that, over and over again, they were called upon to do, okay, or be the expert in, that guidance, cabin categories, right? I mean, I'm not a big fan of when a supplier goes through a presentation and they take you through, and here's what the cabin looks like. Um, but it does matter in certain situations, it really, really matters, and this is where your expertise can shine through. So the niche for this particular person is multifamily or friend groups doing their first Alaska cruise, not their second, their third, and fourth. What she said is, I am I'm gonna make your first time, and let's be honest, might be the only time they get to Alaska. I'm gonna make your first time amazing. It feels like the first time. Whew, that just kinda came out of me, sorry about that. So the what? So these are cruise and land packages with custom excursion planning. So this advisor is saying, "Okay, what I do is I put together these cruise and land packages, and I'm gonna make sure that based on the group, I'm gonna do the custom excursion planning," okay? Which is fantastic. I My first time on a cruise, well, and let's be honest, it wasn't anywhere grand. I I didn't know what was available to me. I signed up for the cruise and I did the cruise. And then it wasn't until I started looking at the little daily planner things that they put in your cabin. And I was like, oh, I should probably figure out something to do here. And then I kind of picked some things. Fortunately, I did pretty good. But if you're putting together a group of people traveling and trying to have a shared experience, then your this is really where your expertise, your ability to navigate all the ins and outs of custom excursion planning can really come into play. So, so the why for this advisor in this niche is so everyone sees bucket list Alaska without confusion or overspending. And let me just put a little emphasis on the overspending, right? Um, you can overspend because you just don't know the ins and outs of something. I mean, and that applies to anything in life, right? But this is where you, as the professional advisor, can really say, you know what? Actually, you don't want to spend the big bucks on this thing. You want to save it for this thing, but you can do just as much. You still do the same type of thing, but do it this way, right? That's what people are paying for. If they wanted to just order online, they would go directly to the cruise line and buy it. Think about it, guys. Your The cruise line is selling a cruise and whatever else goes on for the same price as you are, okay? In most situations, right? The same price as you are. They don't help them. They don't help them the way you help them. You do. Already, there's your value. You are their guide. You are their expert. You are their professional. And that is where the magic in this profession comes. And you know what? I feel like I'm a convert because when I first joined the travel industry, it was kind of by chance. And I'm like, who would use a travel advisor? And now I'm like, uh, are you a fool? Do you not have a travel advisor? That is just dumb. You should not be traveling that way because you are missing out. You are absolutely missing out. All right. Well, I'm not going to preach on that. All right. So I'm going to give you another one. Oh, and I know our Stephanie who runs our Worldview Academy. I know that she would really love that I'm talking about this particular niche here. So the marquee win for this advisor. So he uh, does a hosted wellness retreat in Mexico for professional women. All right, this is something that he and his team put together these wellness retreats in Mexico. Okay, we're very specific for professional women. All right. Um, that's kinda a little bit vague there, but I think you'll get where I'm going when I go through the kind of breakdown of this niche. So what he and his team identified is, the who here is stressed professional women age 35 to 65, okay? They're stressed. Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah, girl.
They definitely need that. And so the what is a small group wellness retreats and solo reset trips, okay? So yes, there's the focus on the groups, but the same people that are going to these groups, this group travel, there's a space for them to travel solo that this team can service. So those solo reset trips. I think I need a solo reset trip. Can I get a TM for anybody who needs a solo reset trip? I think there's some out there. So the why is so they can unplug and reset without worrying about planning and, in particular, safety. Now, you can't guarantee anyone's safety, but think about the traveler. Think about they don't know what they don't know. They don't want to get into a situation, right? Again, not only navigating product and the experiences, but being able to help navigate the ins and outs of travel, this is where you come in. This is where you are the magic. And those of you who are, these are marquee wins for these travel advisors, right? These are things that they are that they have done, and they're like, yes, this is what I do. This is what I want to do more of. I can do this over and over again. So it that's something that they've been able to define from their experience. If you have not yet had that experience, this is where you lean into you start to you lean into your passion, you lean into your professional community, your professional network. You you identify those key partners that you want to work with because those partnerships are everything, and you listen, you ask questions, you listen. I love this industry so much. I think I'm going to do a close up. I've got an option for a close up. I love this industry so much because you never stop learning, and people never stop wanting to teach and share. This is such an awesome community to be a part of, such an awesome industry to be a part of, because it truly, truly, they want there's so much opportunity for learning and sharing of stories like, "Oh, let me tell you about this trip I did. It went so well. Let me tell you about this trip that did not go so well. Let me tell you about this partner that does things a little bit different, but it's worth it. Let me tell you about this partner that everybody goes to that is overdone," right? Like, the community is where you can find strength. So following this exercise, get you that download that niche clarity map so you can start filling out the worksheet and drilling down to your niche. Um, that right there, and tapping into the community, even if you have not had your marquee travel win yet, this is this is the work that's gonna get you there where it's going to make a difference. So, for those of you who are joining live, I've got something just in a short phrase. Describe the situation your traveler is in, whether it's planning and this is just broad, right? Whether it's planning the first big Europe trip, that's the one. What about empty nesters with time and money? They wanna get out, or what about burned out professionals? So, in just a short phrase, describe the situation that your traveler is in. This is a part of the work here, right? So drop that in. Uh, oh, I see it. Teresa said it's already printed it up. Good. I'm glad that you have. You know what? I do the worksheets so you guys can really do the work, but also share in the private Facebook group what you've discovered along your journey, right? Okay, so I want to give you some examples of just vague and focused niches, all right? And this might resonate with some of you, and it's not to call anybody out, but this might resonate with you just because it's very, very common to say, "I have a niche," but a lot of times, and Erica, I think you'll back me up on this, a lot of times we say, um, that's a little vague. You need to get a little more specific because the riches are in the niches, and you're not quite there on the niche, the niche. Yeah, that's tough for me to do. So I'm gonna just do a little compare and contrast. So I plan Europe trips. Vague. All right. I help food loving couples plan their first immersive Italy trip so they feel like locals and not tourists. That is focused. So, right now, I want you to be thinking, okay, are you vague or are you focused? All right. And here I'm going to give you another little editor's note, or it's like, it's in the margins here. And I get asked this a lot, and it makes people frustrated, right? Because they're like, "Well, wait a minute. At this point, I would sell anything, and I have sold multiple different types of trips that I could gladly do. This is the thing that you're wanting to be known for. When you niche down, this is the thing that you want to be known for. This is the thing that you can grow with, you can do over and over again. It's not rinse and repeat, but it's something that you just keep getting better, better. You keep refining, right? And from a marketing standpoint, it makes it clear for people to tell your story, right? This is what Joshua does. He helps food-loving couples plan their first immersive Italy trip so they feel like locals and not tourists, right? That kind of marketing is amazing. It is the holy grail of marketing, right? Hey, my friend Joshua, he sells trips to Europe. Mm, not so great, not so focused, not so compelling, right? So here's another vague versus focused, right? I do cruises. Well, we already know that that's vague, right? So I help friend and family groups plan Alaska cruises and land experiences. So everyone from teens to grandparents get their bucket list moments without confusion. How you like them apples? Can I get a TM for that being focused? Okay. That's a story. That's something that people can get behind. That is where you can win. All right. So I'm going to ask you, and it's also in the worksheet, but I'm going to ask you, do you, right now, does your niche sound vague or focused? Um, and what would it take to either get it to be focused, or if you believe that it's focused right now, is it does it resonate with you still? Have you been locked and loaded into it for a while and you're just like, this is my jam, but maybe it's evolved a little bit. So let me do some work. It's okay to ask that question. You aren't changing anything, right? You aren't changing anything. You're just you're just you're thinking about it. You're open to some ideas. Um so think about that, and nobody needs we don't need to call it out whether you feel vague or focused. But now the next part of all of this, and again, this is all in the downloadable, and if you didn't get it before the show, that's okay. Go over to that Facebook group and sign up, and you can get access to all the worksheets, and you can also get a copy of the blueprint that we're working through here. Um but the next thing that you need to do is you need to test if your niche is profitable. Wow. You weren't expecting me to do that, were you? You were like, I like to do this and work with these types of people. I wasn't ready to go down the is this profitable? Well, at the end of the day, this is a business. So you have to make strong business decisions, informed business decisions. And in the worksheet and what we're going to talk about right now, um, this is going to help you refine your niche or drill in down into your niche, and kind of stress test it a little bit. And this is also a great way to work with AI, to have a little banter back and forth around some of the choices that you've made around your brand strategy. So this will work. This you can. I love working with AI, so I encourage you to do that. But let me take a sip here. I'm gonna have to figure out how I do that now that we're a podcast as well, because if someone is hearing me gulp, and I don't know, that's the whole thing I don't need to think about right now. All right, so here are the three checks for whether this is how you're gonna test to see if your niche is profitable. Okay, so desirable. That's the first one. Are people already spending money on this type of trip? Okay. And this is pretty easy information to find out. I mean, you can find this out through working with AI and doing some simple analysis. You can also look at your supplier partners that you want to work with, and even talk to some of those BDMs or account managers and find out, like say, this is the thing that I want to do. This is the type of trip I want to do more of. In some cases, they would love for you to sell more of that, but it might be something that hardly anybody sells, right? And they want you to succeed, so they're going to share. They're going to share that information. So are people already spending money on this type of trip, or is this something that you feel is a higher calling for you that you need to educate people on? And you're creating a movement, and I'm all down for a movement, but I'm just saying, profitability wise, that might be a big lift for you. It really depends on quite a few factors there. But if we're just stress testing here. So is your niche desirable? Are people already spending money on this type of trip? Um, is it viable for you? Does the average booking value plus the commission fee structure support your income goals? I'm talking about it here. You got to make money, right? This is your profession. You're not doing this for altruistic reasons, right? You're doing this because this is a business, right? So, does the average booking value does it support your goals? And everybody's goals are different, guys. So we're not trying to compete with each other here. Everybody's goals are different. And then reachability is reachable. So desirable, viable for you, reachable. So can you find groups, places where these people that would be buying these types of trips, can you find them either online or offline? That's can you find those people? And if you don't have money for big advertising campaigns, then you need to look at, are there Facebook groups? Are there Reddit groups? Are there local community groups? Things like that are there things that you're already plugged into where you can find these customers? Or is this like searching for a needle in a haystack, right? When you're defining your niche, you you want to ask yourself these hard questions. You want to get very focused. You don't want to be vague. You want to know what you're going to put your marketing energy behind, right? It doesn't mean that you can't sell other things. It doesn't mean you're turning people away. Some people do. Some people need to turn people away because they're so focused. Their niche is so strong, it's so profitable that they can't take on other things. But from a messaging standpoint, what is the banner that you're going to get behind? Um, so I'm gonna tell you another story. This is part of my format, guys. I like to tell stories. I want to make sure that I can illustrate uh that we're not boldly going where no one has gone before. Success leaves clues, and this is why we're here today, to share some of these things. So I've got a something I got a story about river cruises and wine groups. So an advisor tried promoting Europe for everyone, and got little traction. And they were racking their brain. They were like, everybody wants to go to Europe. Why am I not hooking anybody? Why am I not getting people through the door or in my inbox, right? So what they did notice is that their best paying and happiest clients, this sounds familiar to my other example, were small friend groups doing river cruises themed around wine. All right. And guys, if you think I am just making this thing up, then I will challenge you to go to every single river cruise line and look at their wine themed cruise collections, because they all have them. This is a very profitable niche, and I'm just saying, this isn't, this, I'm not speaking crazy here. So she checked. Is it desirable? River wine itineraries are selling out. There's strong marketing from the suppliers. There's whole trainings just around wine themed river cruises. Okay. There's marketing kits, everything, all that. Is it viable? Strong commission, onboard credit, amenities. Like, are there is are there enough? Is this truly something viable for me where I can make the money, and I can draw people to this particular type of product? So it was reachable. Here's something that I hear over and over again with people who focus on wine groups, local wine clubs. I did not realize that these were such a thing. Like, there were so many local wine clubs in so many communities all across America. I had no idea. I'm not a wine drinker. I just didn't know. But another thing is wine shops. Wine shops, huge, huge. And I keep hearing over and over again from supplier partners as well as advisors that these wine shops in cities all across America have most of them have like tasting rooms or spaces where you can hold small events. And partners love to work with advisors to do events in these wine shops for these wine themed river cruise experiences. Okay. And of course, Facebook groups, right? So what she did was she ran a 30-day wine on the river mini campaign and booked multiple cabins, and that for her, that mini campaign, Wine on the River, was the way that she confirmed that that was a profitable niche for her to lean into. So I love this story because yes, I if she had come to me and said, "Hey, should I do this?" I'd be like, "Yes, sister, please. You need to do this." I would have definitely said that. But I also like that she tested it. So running a 30-day wine on the river campaign, she was focused on her messaging, she was pulling her levers, whether it was email, social media, calls out to her clients. Um, and she was able to book multiple cabins. She said, "Okay, there is something there." All right. So for your niche, your whole your exploration of diving, taking your marquee travel win and diving into your niche, I need you to go back to, is it desirable? Is it viable? Is it reachable? I mean, first make sure it's not vague, right? It's focused. But now do that work, test it, see if it is truly right for you. You can always change at any time. Don't think that you're locked and loaded. But Erica and I, as well as the rest of the team over at World Via Travel Network, can tell you that if you do not do the work to get into a niche, you are going to spend a lot of time spinning the wheels, okay? And that is not a great thing. I always I know I get a little preachy about this stuff, but it's because I'm very passionate about it. I hope you can see that. I can't tell you how many people I have been so fortunate to meet who I can tell that they've reached a level of success. They're really happy with their business, and I asked them about, how did they get there? How did they get there? And I would say 99% of them always say, "Well, when I finally figured out what I was doing or what I wanted to do, what I needed to do, then everything started to fall into place." And this is just this is a common story of kind of loosely defining a niche, loosely marketing to that niche, right? And not being able to see true success or get traction. So it's just taking a lot longer than it needs to. So listen, just listen. Don't block the blessings. So I've given you a lot of stories. I've tried to illustrate this. I've tried to bring this to life for you. I've given you a worksheet. I think it's like 8 pages. Maybe 7 pages if you don't count the cover. So, even down to testing the profitability, right? So asking yourself these questions. I want you to dig in and do this work. I've even got an exercise for you to draft your niche statement. So taking and I've been talking about these niche statements as I've talked about people taking their marquee win and discovering who their niche is, or what their niche is. So the formula, I can give it to you if you don't have the worksheet in front of you, is I help insert who, plan, insert type of trip, so they can put insert the main outcome without and then big frustration, right? That's the formula. So I've given you the formula that's also in the worksheets. I want you guys to work on this because I'm telling you, this is where it gets super super powerful and impactful for you. All right. So let's go back to just where we're at in the overall blueprint. So you know where we're going, where we've been, where we're going. Okay. So from the last episode to get last episode that we were together, um, was the proof that you can deliver in this niche, right? Today we named who it's for, tighten the language. You're going to start testing the profitability if you haven't done that already. And then in our next episode, ooh, I'm excited about this. We're going to take this niche and we're going to build a signature offer around it, right? So you're not reinventing the wheel every single time somebody raises their hand to say, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you. Hey, I've got a trip," right? You're coming up with a signature offer. That doesn't mean that that's the only thing that you can ever sell. That is not what it means at all. It just means that you have your signature offer, the thing that is just like an oil painting that you have done and you have signed off on it. That is your signature offer. So that's what we're going to work on in the next episode. But again, you don't need to marry this niche forever, but at least commit to the work that we're doing today and for the next few weeks. Commit to it for at least 90 days before you pivot. I think that that's good advice just in general. So download the clarity map, niche clarity map worksheet if you haven't. Join the Facebook group if you haven't already. Go and follow at Travel Marketeering on Instagram and TikTok. I know I will be happy. I know our team will be happy that you're there. And please, please, please subscribe to World Via Travel Network's YouTube channel because that's not only where you get to find out what when the next episodes of Travel Marketeering are going to be. You're going to also you're going to be able to tune into a lot of our other live shows as well. One called Elevate Your Travel Agency with Laura De Vega. Powerful show most Thursday nights. That is the show to tune in. You can watch that on the YouTube channel. And also, Steph from our team who runs our World Via Academy, she works with our Erica. She is about to start a podcast that will be available on YouTube as well. So I'm just saying, like, we're not shy, we're not bashful, and we love to share ways for you to be successful. So I just want to thank you guys for joining. I hope to see you in the next episode. And you know what? Just you know, take take small steps, little small tweaks to your systems can have a massive impact over time, and it also prevents the spin and forget and gets you past that overwhelm, that feeling of being overwhelmed. And most travel agency owners and advisors are overwhelmed, whether it is about getting started or they've been in business and they haven't quite made it to the place where they want to be. All right. So, thank you again for joining. I look forward to spending time with you real soon. Take care of each other take care of yourself so we can take care of each other. And I'll see you real soon. Bye, guys.